Well, this is our yard. And I've had requests from many people actually that want to know what our property looked like here before the wood chips. Okay, my bad. We didn't do a lot of photos. I'm going to have to go through. If you can see, this is what it looked like. All hard dirt. Even these trees that are growing here now were sparse. In fact, this pepper tree, we were going to have it taken out. It was dying. A huge limb fell down. And then after he started loading in all the wood chips, and my daughter had a water slide party here, this tree was really happy. I think I can show you over here. I should have had a shovel, but I don't. This is what the ground looked like. It's a hard, sandy clay. This is it. A whole thing. Just dust. The whole property is this. Okay. And when it rains, I won't say what my local sheriff called it, but when it rains and it gets sticky, you walk out here and your shoes will get 2 inches of that stuff stuck to it and you have to peel it off. So this whole place here, this is where we park right now, was just hard dirt. And I'll be honest, when my husband started the wood chips, the first load that came in here, and I just looked at it, I thought he was crazy. And I refused to let him put it down here. So this is fairly new here. Because I said, this is ridiculous. What are we going to do with it when you don't want it and you have to scrape it up and get rid of it? He insisted that we won't, but I told him no. So last year I let him start putting it here because I ended up putting it in my small kitchen garden because I was going out when it was wet and I was coming in just full of that mud, which I always have. I've been here since 1988, and that's the way the property is. I mean, I don't know, I can even zoom up here. You can see it's just hard dirt. That's all it is. It's very interesting dirt because when you dig into the hillside, you actually find shells, fossil shells. So that's really cool. So at one point this was underground, but this is what it looked like, and now it's just covered in wood chips, and we're not planning on here yet. We're just starting. This is a load he got in a few weeks ago. That's one load. And this is another load, and of course he's already got more. And if he doesn't move it, it will just sit here and break down. And if you need some good planting soil, you just dig into it, and the center is just full of earthworms and different bugs, and they're just immediately breaking it down. Let's take a walk. Here what we did, because the wall, this is a block wall, it stays warm all night. So he threw together some raised beds for me. And in the fall, late summer, I started planting stuff. And I've got to pull all this out. But this is squash from last year, when he first built it at the end of summer. And they're still producing. In fact, they're producing now. But I've got to clean all this up. But see, look at all this squash. This is from an old plant, not a new plant, an old plant. But that's got wood chips in it. So this, he put wood chips and then everything will grow. Not much grows in the dirt. All right, let's take a walk over here. And I'll show you. Let's see, again, this is all wood chips now. Oh, I should grab a shovel. As you dig into it, I was digging into it, it's just dark, rich soil. This is what happens to it when it sits for about 12 weeks. Sometimes even quicker. And there'll be all kinds of bugs and stuff in it if you start digging through. There was earlier. And that there's a lizard. That will just grow anything you want. And see, there's his new wood chips he got. Wait a minute. That looks like a new load that might have come this morning. I didn't see that yesterday. Okay, did I sleep in? Did they bring that at 5 in the morning? because I got up and the gates were open. Anyways, he's got a bunch of loads there. Kids love climbing on them. My grandkids come and they climb on it like a mountain. And this was all dirt. Nothing was growing here. And this is where I decided he can start putting wood chips. But now I can't stop things from growing. And that's the difference with the wood chips. I mean, now I've got to pull things out, which is very difficult for me because I've worked with animals my whole life and I do the opposite, try to save everything. And now I've got to kill things, I feel. And I'm going crazy moving pomegranate trees that are coming up. And I don't want them. And I've been sticking them in pots. Oh, look. I've been sticking them in bags. And I've got to give them away. But anyways, that's the story of the wood chips. I've got to go look and see if I've got other photos, because here the ground was dead. It was just dead. I mean, look at my collard. I bought 4 plants at the 99-cent store one day. It was in a little pot. Stuck them in here, and this is growing in wood chips. And the size of them. That's cabbage over there. There's another collard. So that was 2 over there. There's 1. And there's my other one over there. And there's birds in them. So we just grow all different ways. I started with these old dog kennels somebody gave me. And we flipped them over, drilled a bunch of holes, started making raised beds. Never quite finished them. Now, because they need to be more dirt in there. But anyways, now I'm starting to plant just in the ground. I do a lot of odd things. A lot of these pots, I actually have the bottoms cut out. So this way, if the roots want to leave, they can easily leave. These pots over here, I should not say pots, these tubs, these are compost breaking down. And what I do is while the compost is breaking down, I actually just throw pots on top with plants. So I'm watering the plants and taking care of the compost at the same time. And then I can move the pots when I'm ready to plant in them. And I wanted to show you, I mentioned my trick way of moving earthworms. There are earthworms everywhere. In the beginning, when we came here, let me see if I can do this. Okay, I only have one hand free. See, this is hard dirt underneath. This is our pathway. There was nothing. You go to where there's a lot of wood chips piled, it's full of earthworms. So I don't need to buy anything, or I don't even have earthworm beds, or worm beds, I should say. But when I want to move earthworms, I put these pots in here where I'm breaking down compost from kitchen scraps, and look at that. And what I'll do is I'll move this pot, and I'll just put the pot in my new compost. Might take that one. Okay, maybe not that one. But you just move them. I don't know if there's any really going in here. Oh, yeah. I just put the pot in there, see? And what I do is I just lift the pot and put it in the new bin that I'm going to start composting. Like this one we just started. And it's pretty much done. At this point, in a few days, I'll just cover it with broken down wood chips and make a good soil out of it. I don't stir anything, I just layer it, and then I plant on top, and it just goes. Did it the same thing in here, where the tomatoes growing, and it was full of tomatillos last year, so we'll see what happens or what I decide to do. But that's my story on the wood chips. I know my husband's going to make his own video, and he'll be more sophisticated, I'm sure. Like I said, this is my little kitchen garden. And I pick up all kinds of stuff. See, there's a drawer, the chairs, people throw away chairs. And so what I do is I go to Home Depot and they sell their paint for 50 cents to $1, the tester paints. And I paint all my furniture with it. My outdoor furniture, it's beautiful. Got all colored chairs. People come over, family parties. All my chairs are all different colors, purple and yellow. The story is funny on that. I looked at purple paint and I thought, what am I going to do with purple paint? So I left it. I was walking out of Home Depot. I look over. Think about these little plastic chairs for 20 bucks that are purple. I turned right around, went back and got the purple. So now I've got purple chairs. And there's my water fountain. Now, that's the other thing. You really want to bring birds to your garden. We do not spray anymore. The birds will come. I was sitting here earlier having a cup of coffee. They'll come, they'll take a drink, then they'll go into the plants and they'll look for bugs. Here's another one. It's so important because they do such a great job. They're not going to do everything, and that's okay. Believe you me, I grow more here than we use. A lot of it gets composted. I grew so much zucchini in this little place here that I'm giving it away, and my friends and my family can't even use it all. My brother still has it. My daughter still has it. My sister takes them home and gives them away. So you can really grow a lot in a small area. My husband's growing a bunch of stuff down below. He's got a huge garden with sweet potatoes, all because of the wood chips. He couldn't grow a thing. The first year we started planting here, when did we start planting? I think we started planting in about 2010, and we couldn't get anything to grow. We were buying bags and bags of growing mix, Miracle Grow and all that. Just couldn't get anything to grow. It would start, but it just wouldn't grow. And I was pretty much done because I figured I had a black thumb. And then he started with the wood chips. I mean, look at this mess. I got tomato plants coming out of the wood chips. So it made a big difference. If you've got the room, do wood chips. It is a big truckload, and they are free. You call the truck companies that are, I shouldn't say truck, tree companies, and they'll truck it over. Sometimes if they're not nearby, they may charge you to bring it if they have to drive an extra distance. But it costs them, I think, about $100 to take it to the dump. So if you're nearby, you hear them chipping, go right out there and tell them, dump the chips. Be careful where you get your compost from if you decide to get your own, because we got it from a free giveaway. That was the biggest mistake. It killed everything. I tried to warn people around here that were getting it. I said, be careful, once you dump it, everything dies. And people were happy. They said, oh, we're putting it on our walkway. We don't want to grow anything anyways. And you just don't know what poison was in there. I don't know what it was, but we will never take a free giveaway again. That was quite a few years ago. There's my husband. I don't know what else to say. I hate to bore you all. He probably didn't know where I was. Now he sees the camera. He goes, uh-oh, if I go over there and bother her, she's going to scream at me. So I better just pretend I don't see her. But anyways, that's it. He'll make an update, but now he's dumping all the wood chips. And let's see if we can go over here. See, my problem is, see all the little celery coming up? Is the rabbits and the bugs will eat the little ones. So I do have to start them somewhere else or baby them or cover them. Oh, let me show you another thing. I'm going to walk over. I know I'm boring everybody, so you can shut off your, computer and go somewhere else. I'm going to show you something. I have a drawer that I was trying to grow some squash in, and I just couldn't grow anything because the bugs were eating all. It wasn't, the squash was growing. So I took this tooling and I threw it here, literally, no joke, 3 days ago. Now the squash is growing. This is great. Not only does it keep the rabbits out, it keeps the bugs out. And I'll uncover that probably in another 2 days. Of course, it's too much squash. But I just threw a bunch of squash seeds from a squash I made for dinner. But that's it. And there's his wood chips. And I guess I don't know what else to say right now. Even the papayas are growing in wood chips. All right, we'll keep on growing.